How's it going, folks? This is Mike back for another weekly chat video response. And this week, Ian, also known as Forkerballs, come up with another good question for discussion. And let's see if I can word this correctly. How do we decide what it is that we watch on home video, and what are the factors in making us decide on one DVD/Blu-ray instead of another? Okay, and kind of relates to the question that we talked about last week, which was how do we decide what movies we go to see at the theater, the cinema? Okay, so now Forkerball has said that he watches movies every day, sometimes more than one, and I guess that's still true. I don't know. That's not true for me. I can go for several days at a stretch and not put anything at all in my DVD player. Well, it's a Blu-ray player actually. Upstairs is Blu-ray. Downstairs I have just a DVD player, and I can go through several days and not hardly watch any television at all. Partly because I do go out several nights a week. I go see movies, or I just go to dinner. I do other things, or I just sit and read. So I'm not thinking about watching movies. I never think about watching movies at home in the morning or in the early afternoon. Uh, on the other hand, I guess that's this hand, I can go out to the cinema in the afternoon and see a movie every once in a while. But for sitting and watching a movie at home during the day, just don't do it. Very, very seldom have I ever done that. So as far as how I choose what I watch and my watching habits, let me give you an example. Now, back in July when the Barnes and Noble was having their 50% off Criterion Collection sale, and a lot of us were out there, shopping and grabbing things off the shelves, and I was right there with you. I bought a total of 12 movies. I think all of them were DVDs. Might have been one Blu-ray in the bunch. I'm not sure. 12 movies. Of those, I have only watched 5. So there were 7 movies that I bought from Barnes and Noble, 7 Criterions that I still have not watched, and they belong in my ever-growing watch pile, which if I showed it to you, it would actually be embarrassing. So why do I make that choice? It's not easy to answer. I guess because, okay, number one, here's my feeling about watching anything at home. For me, no matter what I'm doing, when I'm sitting in front of a TV screen, it's always just watching television. And for me, that always has a factor of relaxation. Okay, I don't care what I'm watching. I can be watching Citizen Kane, or I can be watching People's Court, or reruns of the Perry Mason show late at night, which I do sometimes. It's always TV, and it's always relaxing. Okay, unlike getting up and going out to a theater, and I'm always in the theater. I'm always sitting up straight, and I'm alert, and I'm paying attention to what's going on. When I'm at home, sitting in my TV room or curling up on the couch downstairs, no matter what I'm watching, it makes me feel relaxed. So it's not always easy for me to get all psyched up and put out the intellectual energy that is needed for watching a really important film. Now, sometimes I can. I get very excited about watching a classic film at home, and I'm very involved in it. But a lot of the times, maybe more than half the time, I get distracted and I just kind of start dozing off. So a lot of my home video watching for me is films that contribute to that feeling of comfort and relaxation. Now, I got 2 movies in the mail this past week and I watched them right away. So let me show you what they are. They were both from the one of my favorite websites that I've talked about before. It's called The Video Beat. Okay, The Video Beat, which you can see on the logo on this film. I bought 2 low-budget movies from the 1950s that have to do with juvenile delinquency, crime, rock and roll, all that sort of thing. One is called T-Bird Gang, which came out in 1959. It has no stars to speak of. The only actor's name that I'm familiar with is a guy named Ed Nelson, very good actor from that period. And I watched this once. The other film that I got on the same day is called The Unguarded Moment, okay, from 1956, released by Universal International. It's a little bit more of a big budget film. It's in color. It stars Esther Williams, who was a big star at MGM doing all the swimsuit pictures. So by 1956, she had pretty much put her swimming suit out to dry, and she was doing other things, and her career was in a little bit of a decline. So she did this sort of a crime, juvenile delinquency potboiler, which is great fun. I've seen this movie many, many times. It used to play on TV back in the 60s and 70s, and I finally have my own copy of it. I've already watched this 5 times. I really can't explain to you why it is such a pleasure for me to sit down and watch this um, sometimes 2 days in a row, since I know everything that's going to happen. But maybe I just feel like relaxing, and it's kind of a touchstone to something that I remember back when I was much younger. And plus, I love the culture of the 1950s and early 60s. I just feel a real connection with it. So that, I don't know if that helps at all, if that makes any sense, but I just like to relax when I'm at home, and I have to be in the right mood to put on something that is very involving and very very demanding, really. And I don't always want to be advanced as a cinephile. I just want to relax and have a good time. So that's why I do things like this. I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, and maybe that's not the best of answers, but that's the best I can do. So anyway, Ian, thanks for the topic, and let's see what everybody else has to say. Okay, turn this off right here.